So, as we all know, as we all been waiting for, I mean, this story is twisting and turning and sliding every which way like a room full of baby oil. But yes, after all these months, people fighting and doing what they said, let's get this trial going. So, as we get the trial going, let's start off with this morning. Now, this is something that's very unprecedented. I've not seen this before. Usually, the jury is selected um, before the trial even starts, before day one. In my experience, from what I've seen, and I'll be watching Law and TV, whatever it's called, and usually, I was in there with the Derek Chauvin trial. Y'all had me. I was there for y'all for that. I was there for the Daryl Brooks trial. I was there with y'all for that. So I got a little experience about the trial situation and how it works. So I got my experience with it. They were lengthy trials at that. So I can handle this. So at any rate, the trial started off with a very unprecedented thing being that they selected the jurors this morning. Now, this did not come without twists and turns in itself. Now, some people are calling it a little bit of tomfoolery here, but here's a couple of things that people got struck. Now, this is like the final, like 45, if you will, of jury selection. So they struck a couple of jurors for some very interesting things. One juror said that he didn't care, they didn't care. They was gonna smoke during the trial. They was gonna smoke marijuana during the trial. Struck them. Gotta go. Another person admitted to stealing a wand from Harry Potter World. This is facts. Now, everything I'm saying here, this is not opinion or anything like this. I'm just telling y'all what happened. I'm breaking down 10 hours worth of information within like the next 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. But yes, one of the jurors they told him, get up out of here. You want to admit to stealing a wand from Harry Potter World? Got to go. But the most important aspect of this is we're wondering how this slipped through the cracks here. People want to know. Apparently, somebody slipped through the cracks in the last 45 that actually went to high school with Diddy. The feds found that they caught it at the last second. They caught it, struck him. He had to go. So there's that. That's how this happened. Everybody playing their hand. Everybody's playing their cards. All the things. Okay, they go on lunch. Awesome. It's going down. Now I got a special section of Twitter, X, if you will, my bookmarks here. And y'all can rock with me because this is real. This is right here. So our first person that the prosecution, and I'll go ahead so that y'all can see with me. Like I said, I was listening. Well, I got my ways, but also I had this to be like a real transcript. I'm glad that there's some other people that were actually in the room. They was transcribing it, and then people were like reading it as it was happening, and they were putting it in my ear so I could hear what was happening, what happened. So the first one. This is a little bit tame, but there is a little bit of a twist with our first witness. So the prosecution calls their first witness, who is the state of sorry guys, my bad. Um I meant to share my screen. I'm sorry. Uh, there we go. Sorry about that, friends. Um, so first and foremost, and again, this is accurate because I was listening to it, and it's exactly what they were saying. I was listening, and this is a transcript, and I'm just gonna run through it as quickly as I possibly can. Comment anything like that, how y'all feel on it. Or if I need to stop or clarify, just let me know. I got the chat over here open. We good to go. So they call in um, LAPD officer Israel Flores. He gets sworn in. Flores asks him what he does. I serve in the Army Reserves. In 2016, I worked at the hotel security at the Intercontinental near Century City. So the prosecutor asks, "Can you recount March 5th, 2016?" Now this is where the infamous Cassie Um, Attack occurred, what we saw in the footage. Now, mind you, keep in mind that when this allegations first came out, Diddy was like, "Man, they just want money. This is about me. I'm messing with my character, all this stuff." Then the footage came out. This is where they got it from. This guy. Well, let's talk about it. So on this day, I was dispatched to the sixth floor. There, I identified Sean Combs. He was present in court today wearing a gray sweater. Prosecutor asked, "What's your role at the hotel?" Flores said, "Assistant security director." Prosecutor says, "Does this photo show the hotel?" What? Okay, blah, blah, blah. "What incidents did you handle?" "Everything from medical emergencies to altercations. Reports always covered who, what, when, where, and why. 5 W's. "Did you include photos? Still images? Yes. Video required credentials we didn't have." So, when did this incident occur? Around 11 a.m. A distress call came in about a woman on the sixth floor. Camera showed a black man pacing, no woman visible. I responded immediately. "What did you find?" "Mr. Combs in a towel and bright socks. He's a well-known artist. Cassie Ventura was on the floor." "What actions did you take?" "Instructing them to keep disputes private. Noted the vase damage would be billed to their room. He was standing on business. I don't care what y'all doing up here, but you got to pay for that vase." Cassie demanded her phone and purse, though. She insisted on leaving. Mr. Combs responded, "You're not going anywhere." Another black male in dark clothing was inside. Hmm, that's new. We didn't know that, did we? "What happened after Cassie departed?" Mr. Combs waved cash at me, saying to stay quiet. Your response? "Charge the damages to the room. I don't need your money." That's a LAPD officer, ex reserve, or still reserve. "How did Cassie exit?" "A black SUV arrived. The driver was exceptionally tall, maybe 7 feet. The driver interrupted. She's leaving." I said, "This conversation." The driver interrupted. "She's leaving." I said, "This conversation doesn't involve you." They drove off. Prosecutor, next steps. Flores, we confronted Combs about hotel policy. He snatched the phone, accused me of recording. I restrained him against the wall. Diddy got hemmed up real quick, right? Hmm. Now they start showing the footage, and they're like, "Who appears here?" "Cassie Ventura." "And here, Mr. Combs." "Describe this moment." "She's using the hallway phone." "What video details did you add?" "My observations of the footage." "Did you keep a copy?" "Recorded clips on my phone to show my wife." So he took footage of the monitor and on his iPhone. "Were you off duty the next day?" "Off for 48 hours. Upon returning, was the footage available?" "It had been deleted." No further questions. So after Flores did not take the money, he still recorded it with his phone. But I guess Diddy came back and he paid the hotel, and the hotel got rid of the footage. But the security guy kept that thing in the tuck for 19 years on a phone. So that's that. No further questions. All right. So Brian Steele, who we all know from the Thugger trial, time to cross-examine Officer Flores. So here we go. "Your reports follow standard protocols?" "Yes, the 5 W's." "You testified Combs had a devilish look. Was that subjective?" "My personal assessment." "What were you carrying when you arrived?" "Just my radio." "Mr. Combs never assaulted you?" "No." "And police weren't notified?" "Correct." "Your claim that Combs said you're not leaving isn't in your report. Why omit that?" It didn't seem relevant then. I summarized, not transcribed. So it's newly significant after 9 years? Objection! Overruled. It wasn't included originally. You alleged a bribe attempt, but you'd already mentioned the vase charge? Right. The unidentified man in the room. Your testimony added new details. He wasn't involved. Who's the other guy in the room? I'm wondering. Ah, that's me talking. Okay. All right, back. I'm back. Why no effort to ID him? He wasn't speaking. Did you report his presence? No. The towering driver. Any idea who he was? No, but Cassie appeared to know him. Your report excludes her refusing police assistance. Since she declined, I didn't document it. You physically restrained Combs. Fair to call that excessive? Light contact, just my forearm. Yet it's absent from your report. Reports aren't exhaustive. Describe the room layout. Only recall it was a corner unit. Standard or multi-room suite? Not sure. Where was the third individual? On a pull-out bed. You weren't just security. You were also in hospitality, correct? That's right. It was obvious Mr. Combs intended to cover the damages, wasn't it? Objective, speculative, rephrase counsel. Guest must find certain situations. Prosecutor. Objection. Judge sustained. No further questions at this time. So there it is. That's the security guy. I bet we got a second witness, y'all, and I'm telling you, this is where it gets super duper. Let me give you a disclaimer real quick before we get into this. A quick disclaimer. Diddy is not on trial for being a freak. Diddy is not on trial for his proclivities. Okay, just keep that in mind. Y'all might be like, ugh, no, dang, ugh, ah. Some things that are done we might not agree with, but it's not illegal. But like again, that's not what he's on trial for. It's kind of like, how did we get to that point to where these things happen? So let's go. So a male escort enters the arena, takes a stand. So right now he's known as male escort. We will later get to know his name. What did Miss Ventura pay you for? To have sex with her? Sean Combs was also present. My employer called and said he couldn't find any of our black dancers. He asked if I could cover a bachelorette party at the Gramercy Park Hotel in Manhattan. What did you expect the engagement to involve? Just some light stripping, a typical dance routine. When I arrived, sorry, I got our character. When I arrived, she was in the room wearing a red wig, stockings, and sunglasses. She gave me a few $100s. Can you describe the room? Red couches, bottles of Astroglide. There was a there was a man there there was a man seated to the right. The man wore a white robe, a bandana covering the lower half of his face, and a baseball cap. I recognized his voice as Sean Combs. What did he say? He said he was in the import-export business. He mentioned having problems with my boss. Objection. I'll move on. What happened after the sexual activity? Cassie gave me a few thousand. Cassie gave me a few $1,000s more. They asked for my phone number, which I gave them. Cassie later called asking for a photo. And then she invited me back. I stayed a few hours. This happened a few more times. Was Combs present each time? Yes. Were there other locations? Yes. Essex House. His residence on 56th Street, Unit 210, I think, and her apartment on West End Avenue, possibly Unit 10. What name were you told to give when you arrived? I was told to say I was there to see Black. Then what? I sent her vulgar text messages. Can you provide an example? I text, I want to fuck you right now. Did you use baby oil? Every time. Sean Combs would say we weren't using enough baby oil. He'd tell us to slow down, to separate from each other. One time he tried to have us role play like we just met at an airport. We weren't good at it, so we dropped the idea. Were you ever told to urinate on Miss Ventura? And if so, how many times? Objection suggested. Overruled. What would happen after those encounters? They would leave me waiting for hours. Sometimes the whole thing would go on for 10 hours straight. Who, if any, recorded these encounters? Mr. Combs did. He used a cell phone and a camcorder. He also took a photo of my driver's license for insurance, he said. What did you understand that to mean? That he was threatening me. I walked in once and saw Cassie slumped over. Combs told me, this isn't going down tonight. Did Mr. Combs provide you with any substances? Substances, I'm sorry, guys. He gave me what I think was Molly, MDMA or something. I'm not into drugs usually, but after taking it, I was passing out $100 bills to everyone. What were the effects? It made me feel amazing, but sick at the same time. And dumb, just giving away cash like it was nothing. Who else was present? There was another guy there that said he was a working escort. I later heard he was sleeping with Cassie at her apartment. This guy kept glancing at Combs, who suddenly yelled, "Stop fucking looking at me." Objection. Counselor asked something else. Can you describe this other escort? Black male, slender build. We actually exchanged numbers that night. When was the last time you saw Mr. Combs before today? Not in 10 years at least. Did you ever get the sense others had been there before you? Oh yeah, there was evidence. Used lubricant, discarded towels. The place wasn't fresh. After the incident with the cash, did you have further contact? No, I was done after that. Couldn't go back. Were you compensated when you couldn't participate? No payment, but I never expected any. Just being around famous people was enough. Until I saw Combs strike Cassie, that ended it for me. What exactly did Mr. Combs say to her? He yelled, "When I tell you come here, you come here, bitch." I froze. I ain't know how to react. I ain't interfere, given who he was, with security always nearby. Objection! Sustained. The jury will disregard that last remark. During another visit, I heard slapping sounds. He came out wearing just a towel. Cassie ran to me and I asked why she stayed with someone who. Objection! Basis. Hearsay. Overruled. She insisted everything was fine. No more questions. Here we go. Now, what has Diddy's team got to say about that? So, in a tense and often awkward cross-examination, Sean Diddy Combs' attorney questioned a witness identified as a male stripper about his past interaction with Cassie and the nature of his work in the adult entertainment industry. The male stripper confirmed he was part of a male review show catering to the female clients and served as a manager for other male performers. He acknowledged that while the business involved sexualized entertainment, prostitution was strictly prohibited. When the defense suggested that his job was to help grow and promote the business, the witness gave a hesitant yes and no. The line of questioning then turned to the company's marketing practices. The defense asked if the business used fake addresses to manipulate search engine rankings. The male stripper responded that the use of false addresses was part of a search engine strategy, nothing more. When the defense sarcastically suggested this was all in service of optimizing the lady's experience, the witness rejected the framing, saying it was just their promotional slogan and nothing more. The defense then pivoted to a specific incident involving Cassie. The male stripper said that Cassie told him to use the name Black and that a supervisor had told him a client requested a black male performer. As the defense attempted to present related messages on screen, prosecutors objected in the defense to remove the content from view. The question became more intimate as the defense explored the details of the performance. The male stripper said Cassie was wearing a wig, high heels, and dark sunglasses, and that she handed him $4,000 before any physical interaction occurred. He stated that the money came directly from her hand and that there was no oil involved before the performance began. He admitted to wearing an NYPD themed t-shirt as part of the act, but denied it was an actual uniform. Man, they was getting the boy. When asked about the nature of the performance, the male stripper said that Cassie initiated by saying, "It's my birthday." He confirmed that he stripped in front of her and she appeared to enjoy herself. He expressed immediate disbelief about the situation, thinking, I was like, did that just happen? Felt, brother. The defense attempted to ask whether Cassie had taken a photo of the encounter or if Sean Combs had requested one. The male stripper responded that he wasn't sure, stating he didn't know if the Combs had asked for a photo, prompting the judge to step in and instruct the court to disregard that comment. So then that's the end of the court today. So that's day one of the Diddy trial. What's your thoughts? How you feel? It's a lot. It's a lot to be found, a lot to be known. But I'm gonna be there every step of the way. I'm gonna recap each day. It's gonna be quick like that. I'm gonna break down this as quickly as I possibly can. It's gonna be hours worth of stuff, but I'm gonna break it down into minutes. So there you have it. He's not on trial for being a freak. He's on trial for how I got there. All right. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Don't forget, every Thursday, the full podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and mama, I'm on Spotify. Overall 99ENT bring you videos from Friday all the way to Friday. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Again, thank you so much.